art time.
Hello, everybody. Hope that you can hear me. Welcome to Art Time Live. It's been such a long time since we got to be together in this way. I'm so glad we get to do this over right now when we're recording this. It's vacation break. If you're out there listening to us, please say hello. All you have to do is maybe type your name or where you are or where you're from in the comments below. Some of you might be watching on Facebook. Hello. And some of you might be watching on YouTube. Hello. Some of you are watching with us right now live, and some of you are watching a recording later. You can also add your comments, and I will still be able to check in on them and say hello to you even after today. I'm so glad you're with us. Happy holidays, whatever you might be celebrating at your home. Solstice just happened, so we're getting a little bit more light every day slowly, which gives us more time to be making art. Today we have an art project. We have a special guest. And if you used to join us on Art Time Live, you know that we also like to warm up our imaginations with a little bit of a creativity game. Now, I mentioned that we have a special guest. Later on in the show, we'll be saying hello to my friend Gilly. She is 6 years old, I believe. She's an artist that lives locally in Northport, Maine. And I can see her. You can't see her. I can see her. She's at her house right now. And later on, we're going to bring her up on screen and she's going to show us some of her artwork. So stay tuned for that. I have a few comments popping up here. So let's see who's joining us today. We have Avi, Adam, Lev from the Netherlands. Oh my goodness. Hello, everybody. Say hello to our global audience. And then I also have someone here, Robin, who is from New Hampshire. Hello, Robin. Welcome. And I hope that you will be joining in our project today. As we are talking today and doing the project, you are welcome to ask me questions to let me know what you're struggling with or some of your great ideas. So I look forward to hearing from you a little bit more as we move along. Now, for those of you who do want to do our project, but you're not sure what it is today, I'm going to show you a picture one more time. This picture shows you some of the supplies that we need. And I'm hoping that you can still hear me. We have some pipe cleaners in that image. And in that image, I used some Cheerios. And I think that's all I used for that creative bird feeder. What's important during art time is that we don't focus on whether or not we have the right materials for a particular project, right? What's important is that we're creative and we figure out ways to use what we do have. So if you don't have pipe cleaners, no problem. If you don't have cereal that has a hole in it, that's not a problem either. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of ideas and give you some time to get creative with them. Speaking of getting creative, let's play our game called What Is It? For a game of What Is It, I show you an object, usually a slightly mysterious object, and you take turns in the comments giving your most creative answer for what this object might be. So today's object is this. I can tell you it's glass. It has a hole right there and a hole right there. So use your imagination. And in the comments, if you will play along with us, tell us what this could be. Now, if you think you know what it really is, that's not your most creative answer. Imagine if you wanted to trick an alien who has landed on the planet to give you a ton of alien treasure. So you need to tell them this is something really super special. What might you tell them? Or let's say that well, some of you are in something called, it was called Olympics of the Mind when I was a kid, but some of you are in something called Odyssey of the Mind, where they do something very similar to this game. It's called Spontaneous. And everybody takes turns going around the room, giving a creative, imaginative answer to what this could be. So some of you have played this before. Let's see if we have any answers yet. Hello to Christopher from Bridget's Kitchen. Thanks for being with us. And Maya is out there. Hello, Maya. Thanks for being with us. And Maya has an answer for what this could be. This is a place to put the smell of fresh laundry. to bottle it up. Boop. You could put a tiny cork in there to smell it later. Maybe you would smell it when you are not smelling so fresh, and you could just take a whiff. Freshness. You could always use a little whiff of freshness, especially during the late afternoon. A little fresh laundry. Very nice, Maya. Is anybody else inspired to give us an answer to what this is? I'll give you some more time to think about it. While you're thinking and typing, let me show you some of the materials that I had at my house that I've gathered. I'm just going to tilt down my camera here so you can see my desk. I have some pipe cleaners, and some of them are really bent up because they were already used for something else, and that's fine. I can just straighten them out and make them like new. I do have some circular O-shaped cereal right there. Don't need a lot of it. I might be eating a couple pieces here and there. I have some scissors on a just-in-case basis. I have something to write with, but I don't know why. It's just good to have around. And then I have a needle and thread, because chances are, if you don't have a pipe cleaner, your grown-up probably has a needle and thread for sewing things, and that would be a great way to make something that could feed a bird as well. And we'll come back to that. I also did a little bit of research before we started the show today, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about what's okay to feed birds in our yard, because our project today is about being really creative and making a piece of art that could also feed the wild birds that might be in our neighborhood outside. Some of us already have bird feeders, and we put bird seed in there, and the birds like to come and get it. But, maybe during the holidays, a little something special, a little treat for the birds. But you can't just go putting anything out there for them. Will they eat Fruit Loops? Yes, they will, and they'll probably love it, but it's not good for their tiny little bird bodies. Sugar, and especially salt, I read that wild birds can't really metabolize salt, and so that's a bad idea. Even a fairly, some kids think that Cheerios don't have any sugar in them, but they do. They have a little bit, and that could give a little sugar rush to a tiny little bird. But I read about it, and I am deciding that it's okay to give them a little bit of a treat. Do you want to be feeding them Cheerios every day if they eat it all up? No, you do not. Special treat. If you don't have Cheerios, or you want to make special bird feeder art all the time, here are some other things that you could add, but you're going to have to be very creative about how you could make an artful display in your yard that would include such hits as berries. Sometimes when you get a package of berries at the end, there's some that you don't feel like eating because they're not as beautiful as the first ones. Guess who's going to love those? Birds. How about a little bit of popcorn? Your parents and your grandparents might have decorated their Christmas trees, if they celebrate Christmas, with strings of popcorn and berries, sometimes cranberries. That's something that you could put up in your yard, and a bird would love to land on that and have a little nibble. This was more surprising. Guess what cardinals love? Isn't that bananas? It's true. Apples, maybe not so surprising to me, but I think I could cut up this apple, and maybe I could put little bits of it on a stick or on a string. And I wanted to give you one more idea. You can look up, use the internet for your creative projects. You could get online and look up these words: DIY suet, S-U-E-T. And that will give you lots of fun ways that you can use, usually peanut butter and bird seed and maybe some sunflower seeds and cereal and stuff like that to feed the birds if you don't have any of this stuff today. So you can try that. I do have one more answer for what is it. A water slide for an ant. Can you imagine how much fun that would be? They could maybe get started. Well, if the water is flowing around here, they could get started here, and the water pressure would shoot them right back out the top. That would be awesome, Amy. Thank you for playing along. And if you think of ideas later, you can feel free to add them. I'm trying to keep my eyes on those comments down there. Now, I'd like to get you started on our art project, and then we will talk to Gilly, my guest artist, while you all are working on your projects. The point of today's project is not, let's talk a little bit about art versus craft. Okay, if we were doing a craft, I would show you a picture of what I wanted you to make, like this. And I would say, here's the things that you need, and here are the steps. First, we need to take a pink pipe cleaner and we need to put 9 Cheerios on it, and we fold it like this to make a heart. That would be if we were doing a craft about bird feeders, a heart bird feeder for your yard. But instead, what I really like to do is encourage you to think outside the box and create your own designs. So I'm just going to share with you a couple of skills and some ideas, and then we'll see how you could make something creative that could probably hang, maybe from a tree in your yard, that would also be safe and delightful for the birds in your yard to nibble at. One thing I want to show you is how to connect pipe cleaners. Some of you may have already started stringing some cereal onto a pipe cleaner. Get rid of that comment there, yeah? But then you're kind of stuck. You saw the fancy thing that I made in that picture at the beginning, and you're thinking, well, how do I make some kind of very complex, cool shape? All I can do is just have a wiggly stick. First of all, wiggly sticks are underrated. This is a lot of fun. For a bird, if you were to hook that tightly around a stick and this end somewhere else on the branch, that could be quite a fun 5 minutes for a bird. So let's not think that it has to be complex for it to be wonderful. But let's say that you did want to combine. Here's the trick. You crisscross, just like that. Crisscross, put your fingers on both of them, and spin, and spin, and spin, and spin. And that will connect them very tightly. You don't want to try to tie wire. There's wire inside a pipe cleaner. Don't tie it, just twist it. And that's on there pretty good. Now, if I put some more little treats of some sort on the other side, now we can start thinking about one of the elements of art, shape. Shape and line. Pipe cleaners can make really interesting lines just by using your fingers to fold. So this is a sort of a straight line, kind of boring. But do you know how to do a zigzag line with a pipe cleaner? Like that. Do you know how to do a spring with a pipe cleaner? Some of you know a trick. Oh, maybe that's why I had this pencil here, where you wind it around and around and around. Boing. That's pretty fun. What else can you do with your pipe cleaners to make a more interesting shape? It can be an organic shape like this, or it could be a geometric shape. It's hard to make a shape when something's in the air like this, so you might put it down on your desk or your table and just press it flat into whatever shape you want. Now I have all kinds of ridiculous squiggles going on in this here. I've also seen someone have a cookie cutter, especially of a star. Stars are kind of a tricky shape to make with a pipe cleaner. So they put their cookie cutter down on their table and they pressed their pipe cleaner around it. So they got the shape of the star just the way they like it. Now I hope you're putting a little bit more cereal on your pipe cleaner than I am, but I just wanted to show you what I was talking about. Let's say that you have a whole bunch of cereal on here. And this could be hanging from a tree. This is shape and line, but when we're making sculpture, we want to bring form or 3D-ness into it. So maybe I would want to Whoa, see, that just turned into a very tricky type of sculpture there. But to really make this more interesting, I think I'm going to add a third pipe cleaner. Let's pretend I put a whole bunch of cereal on here. And I'm doing the twist, twist, twist to get everything attached. See that? Ooh, nice little candy cane motif. But now that I have this third piece, I can be working in 3 dimensions. Whoa. Because I won't be satisfied with just some heart swinging around in the tree. I want the birds to sit on a branch from a short distance and really take in the form and line and color choices that the artist made when they were creating their strange bird feeder. So this is becoming more interesting. Not much food to it, but an interesting piece of sculpture for the birds to enjoy, if I do say so myself. If you are out there and you're making some sort of project along with us, let us know in the comments so we can say hello. And maybe you don't have any of this stuff, but you've figured out another way that you can feed the birds while being creative. Let us know how you're doing it so you can teach your tricks and share your ideas with others. I would love that. But what I'd really love is to stop messing around with my pipe cleaners and introduce you to my special friend. So if Gilly is ready, I'm going to ask her to give me a thumbs up. Okay, and let's say hello to our friend and young artist, Gilly. Hello, Gilly. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Oh, very good. Gilly, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name's Gilly and I'm 6.5.
You live in Maine.
Yes, of course. Of course, I live in Maine.
Well, you know what, Gilly? There's people that are watching us right now who are from other countries.
I know.
So yeah, we got it. They might not even know where Maine is in the United States. They might be checking a map. So it's good to let them know. And I'm in Belfast, Maine right now. But what town are you in, Gilly?
I'm in Northport, Maine.
Mm-hmm. And Gilly and I met because her neighbor suggested she come do some artwork at Waterfall Arts, which is the community art center where I work in Belfast, Maine. And Gilly does a few things there. She has come, she's a little bit young for the Young Artist Studio, but Mom has come along with her. The Young Artist Studio is on Tuesdays where kids can come in to the studio and use whatever they want to work on whatever they want. But Gilly, you've been taking a class at Waterfall Arts. Do you want to tell everybody what class you've been taking?
Yeah, so I've been taking clay class, and this is one of the things that I made. They I made this.
Would you carefully hold that right in front of your computer so we can see it better?
Okay, 1 second. I just need to move it closer.
Okay. There we go.
Tell you what it is. So
very nice. I can hear it making sounds like it's ceramic. Is it hard ceramic now? Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. And I have clay stuff at my house, and I made this.
Ooh, bring that nice and close for us. I see a smiling, twisted, psychedelic rainbow situation there.
Yeah, so what I did is I took some clay, I took 2 different pieces of clay, and then I did it really close together. And then I basically I put it to the other piece.
Awesome. You were twisting them just like I was showing to twist the pipe cleaners. You were doing that with your clay?
Yeah. I made this a lot, but I made it this year.
Okay.
And my friend blows glass, but this is a bit different than blowing glass, but it still gives the glass color.
Yes, that is similar. Can you tell us about the how you made this one with the kit that you had at home?
So, first of all, when we opened it, the kit of course, the paint was dried out. But then I used my mom's paint. And of course, you have to do it from the back side, so it doesn't get all over the front side where you eat. That's the exact same as clay. You need to glaze the inside so it's smooth, so your lip doesn't get cut or ripped.
That
And
makes sense.
so it's called reverse glass painting, and you paint this side. But then the thing is, I need to do my gems first. Do the gems in the sky. I need to do the gems first because then you would see them first instead of the white clouds, and then you wouldn't see the gems. I need to do the clouds, gems. But if I want to do the gems in front of the clouds, I would pick a gem first, and then a cloud, and then the sky around it.
So you have to work in reverse. That's very tricky.
And then I made another one of these, which I made also. And I discovered that the black doesn't really shine through as much, because it's a really dark color. But the thing that's cool is with these brushes, you can kind of see the strokes. So it kind of does shine through, like you can see my finger in the back.
Yes, I love that you can see through it a little bit on those brush strokes. Hey, do you mind if I show a picture of another piece of artwork that you made and you can tell us about it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, how about this one? Look at your screen. You see it?
Yes. So I made that one. Well, it was my friend's wedding. It was my friend's grandma's wedding. And we had come up from the beach. And I found a heart-shaped rock and some sea glass, and there were some flowers around. So I arranged it on my mom's knee.
Oh, so your canvas was your mother's knee.
Yes. And I knew I couldn't keep it forever, so I told my parents to take a picture of it.
Smart. Now, how about this one?
That one. So my mom has started a mystery quilt, and this is what her squares look like. Let me find a good one.
So I don't know if at home you can see it, but at the top of this piece of paper, it says my quilt.
Yes. She was making a mystery quilt, and this is a square of a mystery quilt.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, yeah, it's really fun. And she was nervous about starting it, so I drew her a quilt, and she colored it in.
Fantastic. What about this?
That. So I made that a couple of years ago at school.
Mm-hmm. Now that looks like mixed. This looks like mixed media, Gilly. What did you use? Do you remember? I know it was a while ago.
So well, I didn't I'm gonna say I did it farther back this year, and my old teacher told me to make an imaginary face of me. And I don't know if you can see it, but I kind of bended the paper. If you look really close, you can see it. And then, but my old teacher told me to do media faces. I did it.
Yeah. I love the texture that you added to that. Now, this is a few different pieces of artwork, but you mentioned that you were going to add a little bit of sparkle to your bowl, and that made me think of the piece that's at the top of this with all those little gemstones.
Yes, my grandma died. She fell on the staircase. She was really old, and when she fell, it was really sad, but she did die. And me and my mom made these. The one that is,
Where is it, at the top?
No, that's, I don't know if you can see it, but I have mom's arrow pointed at it.
I can't see it pointing at, yeah.
Okay, whatever. It's the one with the butterfly and the flowers on it. Those were from the wedding, and me and my mom made those for my mom's death. It
So
was really,
sometimes, yeah, go ahead.
it was really sad, but we still have those in our closet, and I gave one to my grandma who died. Well,
I wonder, I bet there are other artists who have felt really sad when somebody passed away and they made some artwork too.
yes,
Yeah.
that probably did happen. And well, show me another person. Show me another
Okay,
person.
I'm gonna show you one last one. Here we go. What are we looking at here?
I embroidered that at Waterfall Art. I don't know who was there, but it was an embroidery thing, and I made it there.
There were a bunch of people that came in that were doing stitching all together, right?
Yeah, I made it for my dog, and I'm working on another one, but I can't really show you it because I don't know where my mom did it.
How long did it take you to do all those stitches?
So it took me about 1 day because I went really fast. I knew that I should do it, and I knew that I would do it, and I didn't know how long it would take, but I just did it, and it actually took 1 day. And
I thought that was going to take you a lot longer.
And there's one more thing that I want to show you if you take me off. It's
Go ahead.
this. I made this at school. It may just look like a normal cup, but it is not. So what I did is, of course, it was my old teacher again. Her name's Miss Casey. And it's basically like, so I took some string and I put it in one of these things, and then I weaved it through every other one, like, and I took some string of it behind and front, and that was fun.
Gilly, do you think that's something that kids could try at home? Do they have what they need to do that?
So all you need is just a small cup, some thread, and some scissors. And this may sound crazy, and you may ask why, but you will need to do an uneven. You need to do like 9, 11. You need to do an uneven. Okay?
An uneven number of snips, right? That's right.
And then you need to tuck the string under there in the crack. Okay? Just so nobody doesn't tuck the string in and then starts weaving and everything falls apart.
I think that's happened to all of us once or twice. Hey, Gilly, while I still have you, let's close with you giving us some words of advice. What would you tell any artist out there that sometimes just doesn't feel very confident about what they're doing?
So, like, if you're using something like this, if you're painting a glass bowl or if you're blowing glass, then you basically, if like let's say if you do an unstroked brush, or like let's say this got out of the line and it flew up, then what I would do is I would walk away and then I would come back to it and then I'll look at it, and I have a book called The Beautiful Oops. It would take up too much time for me to read it. And then I would look at it at different ways, and then I would see how to fix it. Like, if it went like this went up, then I could just do a little cloud puff and it would be fixed. Or, like, if it was something like, let's say, painting or any, like if you're doing a puzzle and you can't find the piece and you're like, oh, or like if you took one of those cat puzzles with the numbers and you're like, oh, I can't do it, walk away, do something else for a bit, and then you come back, it'll be like you haven't seen the puzzle and you'll be really good at it.
That is such great advice. Fresh eyes, we call it. Come back at it with fresh eyes, right?
Yeah.
That's so good. Thank you, Gilly. Do you think that you will work with your pipe cleaners and your cereal and whatever else to make some sort of feeding sculpture?
I have already started.
Okay, well then I'm going to let you finish that.
Can I
If
do some
anybody
shout
has, well, yes, you can do some shout outs. And I was also going to say, if anyone out there has a question for Gilly, just put it in the comments and we'll read it. Go ahead,
Okay.
Gilly.
So so I have a friend named Robin. If Robin, who lives in New Hampshire, who has a dog named Bean, if that is that Robin, then I'm saying hi. And then Amy and Maya, say hi to them. And Mom, I know you're listening. Heather, I know you're listening. And if Art and Anya are listening, I'm going to give you a shout out also, okay?
That was a long list of shout outs. Also, we can give a shout to Amy and Maya, who are also watching.
Yes,
And give a little wave. That's nice. Very good. So, Gilly, I'm going to let you get back to working, but thank you so much for being my guest today.
Okay.
And hopefully, I'm going to see you at Waterfall Arts very soon, right?
Yes, really soon.
Very good. Oh, by the way, Gilly, I'm reading the comments online, and someone said hello from Spain.
Who is that?
Valerie.
Oh, yeah, Valerie.
Oh, you know Valerie from Spain? Okay, I didn't realize.
That.
Okay. There's your shout out,
Valerie. Valerie. Wait, is it Valerie?
And
if it's Valerie who knows Simon Heather, then I know you.
Okay, and Robin also is out there with Bean, and she says hello, so that's pretty fun.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Gilly.
Bye. Bye.
Wow, there was a lot. I hope you were taking notes. You can also rewind this and watch it again and take some of those words of wisdom from Gilly. The thing that I'm taking with me is walk away. When you're getting frustrated and emotional and you're just starting to really criticize what you're doing, before you go too far and mess it up, just put it down for a little bit, go do something else, and come back and look at it with fresh eyes. I love that, Gilly. Thank you so much for adding that. Those of you at home, if you have been working on an artful bird feeder of some sort, just make sure it's safe. So there's no very sugary treats on there. You want to have something that is the most like bread or seeds or berries that you could find, and actual berries works great. Whether you're doing something on a structure like this, or if you're rolling something in peanut butter and covering it in seeds, it has to be safe. It has to be, even though birds are very light, you want all of your attachments to be nice and twisted so it doesn't fall apart when they land on there, right? And then you also want to make sure that it is interesting to look at. So when you think you're done, why don't you follow Gilly's advice, put it down for a little bit, and then come back and look at it. And you might decide it needs a little bit of a tweak, a little bit of an extra something, something. And after that, if you would please take a picture and post it, you could post it to Instagram. You could send it to me on Instagram, and I'll actually put that up here on the screen. You could also just, if you're on Facebook, you could post a picture of what you've done in the comments so that everybody else who is watching with us can see what you did too. I would love that. Thank you so much, everybody. It was very nice to be with you doing Art Time Live again. We used to do this a lot during the height of the pandemic, but now we're feeling a little bit better. And most of us are back in school or homeschooling full time. And so we don't need to be doing everything virtual, but I like this. I had fun, and I hope I get to do it again sometime. If we don't see you on Art Time Live soon, please come to Waterfall Arts, and that is in Belfast, Maine. It's our community arts center where we have all sorts of classes, not just for kids, but for grown-ups too. We have a printmaking studio, a glass studio, a ceramic studio, and a lot more for you to come check out. So thank you again for joining us. Continue to leave comments, and we will see you soon.